Hello everyone, my name is Eric Garcia and this presentation will be on the ethics of bandwagon fans. The first question is, what is a bandwagon fan? And that is simply a fan who supports a successful team and will quickly switch teams when performance starts to decline. Examples of this in the NFL are the New England Patriots during the Tom Brady era and the present day Kansas City Chiefs. So why do fans become a bandwagon fan? Generally, it is just a desire to watch a winning team and to join on the excitement of watching success. Peer pressure and social belonging can also be a contributing factor to this if you're surrounded by people who also like to watch these successful teams. Media exposure of dominant teams generally happens across social media and talk shows and the internet in general. And at the end of the day, there's also just a psychological comfort in success. The key ethical questions we'll be looking at is switching teams a form of dishonesty? Does being a bandwagon fan disrespect lifelong fans? And should fandom involve moral commitment, or is it just simply for entertainment? There are three main moral frameworks that I will use as a basis for these arguments. The first of which is utilitarianism, which is the right action is the one that increases happiness for the most people. Kantianism, which is more about moral duty and sets of rules in which loyalty is considered a moral duty. And virtue ethics, which focuses on doing things that would be considered virtuous traits, such as sticking with a team, which might show integrity and commitment. Starting with arguments for bandwagon fans. Firstly, who you're a fan of is a personal choice, and you have the freedom to choose whichever team you would like to support. A large fan base also helps grow revenue for the teams and the league of the sport you're watching, which increases the happiness for not only the people who work and help run the league, to also the players. And sometimes these bandwagon fans can develop into long-term fans of these teams. These are not necessarily fans who maybe were incredibly into the sport or were watching it year after year after year, but after rooting for a successful team for so long, they might not be a permanent fan and stick with it and enjoy the sport even more. There's also a sense of community and connection and sharing in the joy of watching a successful team win. Under utilitarianism, overall, would be considered ethically good. Rooting for good teams brings in more money for the league, more money for the players, and increases the happiness in the community and with the people who root for that team. Therefore, if it increases happiness for the most people, then it must be good. Next, I'll talk about arguments against bandwagon fans. Being a bandwagon fan shows a lack of loyalty by switching to a team that's successful and leaving a team that is doing bad. Under Kantian ethics, loyalty is a moral duty. Therefore, it is ethical to be loyal. This also devalues the loyalty of true supporters, as they have been loyal through the good times as well as the bad times, and they might have been fans their entire lives. There can also be an erosion of team identity. Most sports teams come from a specific area or place, such as a city or a region, and the people who are lifelong supporters are people who are either from there or have family who are from there. And so there becomes this community and this culture of people who have not only a shared experience with the team and the sport, but also with a lifestyle and a way of living from being from that area or from having family from that area. Once you get an influx of people from all over who are now rooting for the team that are not from where you're from, you get this erosion of who the team is, what the people who root for them are like, and what it really means to be one of their fans. This can also, on an individual level, treat success as an expectation. In sports, success a lot of times is more of a rarity in a situation of luck and hard work and time. For example, the picture on the screen is the Cleveland Browns. A fan of the Cleveland Browns specifically wearing a paper bag over its head. Now, we have 60 Super Bowls. As of this year, we will have our 60th Super Bowl. The Cleveland Browns have not been to the Super Bowl one single time. Not only have not won it, have not been to it. So, by definition, these are the most loyal fans in all of the NFL. At the end of the day, there is an ethical balance to being a sports fan. There is virtue and it is ethically good to be a loyal fan. However, one should not experience extreme unhappiness in an unsuccessful team. For example, like I talked before, the Browns. They have been a terrible team for pretty much ever. And just because of where you're from doesn't mean you should have to root for a team that you absolutely despise and hate and can't see win. So it's okay to enjoy other success, but acknowledge your role honestly. Acknowledge whether or not I am a lifelong fan of this is my team, or simply I have my team, but they're not good, so I like to watch another team. And I do root for them and I do enjoy them and it's fun to watch and I like the players, but I am not going to make this my team. And at the end of the day, sports is entertainment. And the best outcome for society is that it makes those who watch it happy. Which is why I would argue that the principles of utilitarianism, which again states that the most ethically good thing is the one that provides the most happiness to the most people. And in that scenario, I would argue that bandwagoning is actually ethically the best situation in sports, since sports, like I said, is an entertainment. And at the end of the day, the whole point is to make you happy. If you're not happy watching sports, if you're not happy watching your team, then you should not watch it, or you should watch something that you actually enjoy.
Mayfield up in the air. Evans, the hands.
Now, just from my own experience, I'm a Miami Dolphins fan, always have been. I grew up in South Florida, and my father is from Miami. And so I will always root for them, and I will always watch them every Sunday and pray that they do better. But for my own personal sanity, I also watch the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I do very much enjoy them. I love watching Baker Mayfield, and watching what he does with the team is very enjoyable to me. So I will end this video with a couple of clips of Baker highlights and some Dolphins highlights, and you can see why I need to do this for my personal sanity. Have a good day.
Interception by Lamb to the end zone. Intercepted.
Looks, throws, picked off at the 27-yard line. Ackles, touchdown. Tua's going to throw it here, and you've got it. Is that pick again?
On 3rd and goal to the end zone. Picked off. Oh, the deflection. Giants with their second takeaway. It's picked. Rare third down play for the Dolphins. Oh, my goodness. The third Giants takeaway. Vertungo by Loa. The pressure is there. The run is on. Hits the deck. Gets the first and fumbles the ball. And it's picked up by Marcus Epps. There. Tagovailoa intercepted. Picked up by Roquan Smith.